Here.
Squire Downey. Squire Blackford. Squire Bill.
Here.
Squire Brown.
Thank you. We have all members present and accounted for. Do we have some folks on Zoom, Madam Clerk?
Here.
Squire Downey. Squire Blackford. Squire
We'll check on
Here.
Squire Downey. Right now, to reflect that we have 7 members present. Thank you. We have all members present and accounted for. Do we have some folks on Zoom, Madam Clerk?
Here.
Squire Downey.
Living Grace.
Squire Blackford. Squire
We'll check on
Here.
Squire Downey.
Father, we're
Right now,
thankful
to
for time
reflect
together.
that
We're thankful for people who are invested in this
7
community, who
members.
love this
Thank you.
community.
We
We're
have all
thankful for their
members,
efforts
present
and, Lord, the
and
time they
accounted for.
spend to
Some
make it
folks
better.
on
Lord, I
Zoom.
pray that you are with us in this meeting. Give supernatural wisdom, Lord, and give divine judgment to each and every decision that has to be made.
Father,
in
we're
every
thankful for
relationship
time
that we
together.
share.
We're thankful for people who are invested
in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor Lauderdale, and all you do at the station for those in need. If you're able, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I'd like to start off tonight on a solemn note. Woodford County lost a great Woodford County and in Mr. Phil House. He passed away on Monday, November the 4th, surrounded by his beloved family. Phil was a lifelong member of Versailles Baptist Church. He was a devoted husband, father, grandfather, and brother. Phil was born June 10th, 1938, in the great city of Midway, Squire Varner, to the late Elwood and Roberta House. He graduated from Midway High School as salutatorian of his class. He attended the University of Kentucky. He worked with Procter & Gamble and IBM, where he remained for 32 years. After his retirement, Phil enjoyed working various jobs and spending time and quality time with his grandchildren and serving on the Versailles City Council. One question I had, did he also serve on the Midway City Council as well? He definitely served many years on the Versailles City Council, but Phil House was a great man. He would call me all the time and talk to me about things going on in our community, someone that loved this community, someone that loved the city of Versailles and the city of Midway, and indeed all of Woodford County. And so tonight we'd like to honor him. I'd open up the floor for any comments, anybody who would like to share any. Squire Varner, yes, sir.
Phil House was a great man, great assets to this community. When I had made a decision to run for magistrate, he absolutely gave me some great advice going forward, and I still have those words written down today. And just want to say we're going to miss him terribly.
Terribly.
Thank you.
We send our thoughts and prayers to his family. Squire Blackford.
I admire Phil a lot. Love to have conversations, and always want to talk. Kind person. Love people. Love this community, and also his son Greg was a good friend of mine also. So prayers for his family.
Thank you, Squire Blackford. If we would take a moment of silence in honor of Philip Gene House. Amen. Before we move forward, I would also like to take the opportunity to recognize that yesterday was Veterans Day. We appreciate all of our veterans. If there's anybody in here right now who has served in the United States military, please rise. I don't see anyone. On Saturday, the American Legion Post 67 honored several individuals, the first of which was Caden Troggett. Caden is the son of Melody and Michael Troggett, our treasurer, and he enlisted in the United States Air Force and departed for his enlistment on Veterans Day. And that's why our treasurer is not with us. She's returning. But we're proud of Caden. He was a road department employee, an intern for some time, and proudly represents our community as he embarks on his service in the United States Air Force. Next up is Logan Forrest. Captain Logan Forrest served in a deployment 9 months in Jordan in the Middle East. That was a harrowing deployment with a lot of other Woodford County service members. It was a challenging deployment because they were being bombed by Iran during that time. Unfortunately, when Captain Forrest returned home. He and his daughter, Emmy, had a tragic accident in Gatlinburg when they were hiking. They fell from a 30-foot cliff, nearly taking Emmy's life and his own life. We are proud to announce that they have both recovered, that Emmy is doing much better. And upon his return home, Captain Forrest was promoted, and he is a professor at ROTC at the University of Kentucky. And Woodford County is very proud of Captain Forrest and his service. And we send our love and thoughts to his family and prayers to Emmy. We'd also like to recognize Private Jeremiah Dale. Private Jeremiah Dale graduated from basic training and then went to do his training on a Black Hawk Mechanics School in Eustis, Virginia. He's in the United States Army. And Private Dale is the brother of Josiah Dale, who passed away earlier, that we honored in a motorcycle accident. He has a brother who also serves in the military, and so we appreciate and recognize Private Jeremiah Dale for his completion of basic training and his training. Next up, we want to honor Mr. Jack B. Whitaker. Jack Whitaker was one of the founding members of the Woodford County Veterans Commission. He was in the Coast Guard and was a faithful member of Post 67 at the American Legion. And Jack passed away just last year. And his father, his stepfather, Chester, was also a decorated World War II veteran. And they are from a long family of military heroes that has Woodford County connections. So those are our veterans. We send out our thanks to all of our Woodford County veterans, and we appreciate their wives and families and spouses for allowing their members to serve. And I'd also like to say that this is the 100th year of the Post 67 of the American Legion, who do a tremendous job in serving our veterans and helping them out. So those are our solemn remarks. Now we have a Good of the County program. For the Good of the County, pretty great county by all estimations, Woodford County. We are here in the home of champions. So if we could, Squire Taylor, could we open the door? The first champion that we would like to recognize is no stranger to the Woodford County courtroom. We welcome Woodford County cross-country champion, two-time state champion, Miss Addison Moore. Ladies and gentlemen, Addie is here with her family, and she has demonstrated unparalleled talent, resilience, and dedication to the sport of track and field and cross-country, establishing herself as one of the most outstanding young athletes in the state of Kentucky and one of the best runners to ever run wearing the black and gold. As a junior at Woodford County, Addie has consistently pushed the limits of her capabilities, becoming the 3A cross-country state champion not once, but twice, 2 years in a row. She's a testament to her focus, work ethic, and athleticism. Additionally, Addie claimed her victory at the prestigious Haunted Woods Classic, solidifying her reputation as a fearless competitor and a role model for young women and aspiring runners across Kentucky. Addie's achievements have set new records in Woodford County history and inspired her community, showcasing her unstoppable force in track and field and cross country. She's broken records and exceeded expectations year after year. Addie truly demonstrates the gold standard and serves as an inspiration not only for her accomplishments, but also for her kindness, her grace, and her humility on the track and in our community. Addie is an exceptional role model for future generations of runners and Woodford Countyans. Addie's list of record-breaking accomplishments is a testament to her extraordinary athletic gifts. Her journey of success has inspired her friends, family, teammates, coaches, and indeed our entire community. She's ignited a sense of pride and admiration for all those that know her and have had the pleasure of witnessing her in action. Her outstanding career is not only a victory in the record books, but a shining example of resilience, discipline, and passion, reminding us all that the power of a dream pursued with commitment and heart. And I would like to say that Addie Moore not only represents Woodford County with pride on the track, on the cross-country course, but in every aspect of her life. The day after she won the state title, I saw her running the streets of Versailles. The moment after she won the state cross-country title, she was busy cheering on and encouraging her teammates. She's the consummate teammate. She is the consummate humble champion. And that's why I believe the Lord has given her the gifts and talents that she's had. Addie's faith in the Lord and Jesus Christ is admiring. She is someone who believes in her faith and relies on that, and is someone who is proud to show that across our community. So Addie, you are not only a champion, but you are a wonderful person in a great Woodford County. And today, we honor you on your second state championship. Addie, if you want to turn on the mic, the floor is yours.
I think I did it right. Can you hear me? I don't know. I just wanted to say, like, I've been running since I was in 3rd grade, and I've honestly never been where I could be without, of course, my supported family and my friends. I've had a really strong support group ever since I've been young, and honestly, I don't think I'd be here without them. But mostly I just got my talents from God, and He just gave it to me, and now I just try to showcase it so that I can bring others to Him, and that's really been my goal all along. So working hard is just the stepping stones to get there. So yeah.
Amen. Take a brief recess for the opportunity to take a picture with our state champion.
Obviously in front of the home champions.
That's right.
She's been there before. You can step down and take the picture. Oh, you already gave me Whoa.
No, you gotta get up there next to Scott so you can beat him in picture quality.
They don't have a plug on this side. You're going to put one in. He's got one here.
Hey, John, get them to line up here when they come in. Get the soccer team to line up here when they come in.
Is this the high school soccer team?
Yeah. Sure. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2024-25 Woodford County High School Region Champion Soccer Team. The Woodford County High School soccer team showcased unwavering dedication, tireless effort, and unyielding commitment to excellence this season. The soccer team has achieved the distinguished honor of becoming the 2024 regional champions, marking a significant milestone in our school's athletic history. Their presence, grace, and athleticism demonstrated not only their success in the world of competitive soccer, but also exemplified the values of teamwork, discipline, and sportsmanship. The Woodford County High School soccer program exemplifies the gold standard. This team has demonstrated not only exceptional athletic ability, but remarkable dedication, resilience, and a strong commitment to teamwork, embodying the spirit of excellence on and off the field. These athletes have upheld the values of integrity, respect, and sportsmanship throughout the season, setting a positive example for their peers, for the young soccer players to come after them, and representing our great county with distinction and pride. The Woodford County High School soccer team consists of passionate and devoted players: Jacob Farmer, William McHale, Woody Morris, Earl Stillwell, Carlos Hernandez, Isaac Howard, Marco Villa, Harvey Dugan, Ian Sargent, Leland Newell, Brendan Burke, Pedro Rodriguez, Samuel Taylor, Silas Dom, Ben Bush, Eduardo Bertrand, Hudson Deaton, Marcus Durkek, Carlos Fushig, Simeon Urbina, Angel Aguilar, Luke Howard, Chili Seitz, Axel Calles, Buckley Greathouse, Austin Hamilton, and Alessio Gambino. This team excelled under the leadership and direction of their coaches, Vanya Matanga, John Dom, McLean Evans, Jorge Sanchez, and my good friend Raul Sanchez. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the regional champions. I had the opportunity to speak with them at the reception prior to this, and I told them that I'd followed them all season long. I've got some young soccer players coming up and some family on the Woodford soccer team. But one thing that I can say about this team that I know without a doubt is that you are great young men. You're young men that have made your parents proud, you've made your school proud, and you make Woodford County proud. Because no matter what happens on the pitch, what happens in the classroom, what happens in our community, you are doing the right things. You're getting good grades, you're taking care of your responsibilities, and most important, you're taking care of each other's. And I can tell you that what you all have been through, the heights that you brought this soccer program to, you are truly a band of brothers, and Woodford County is deeply proud of you. Congratulations, gentlemen. And Coach, if you'd like, you can take the podium there and share any words you'd have. I didn't tell you about that part, did I?
I'm very happy to be here representing Woodford County boys soccer and Woodford County High School. Judge James Kay, thank you for inviting us here. It's not every day we get an invitation to the courthouse. As a matter of fact, when we got downstairs, I had to ask for directions because I don't come here often. And to everyone that's here, thank you so much. I see a lot of our parents and the sheriff's here, Mr. Will Hoyt, whose daughter I actually happened to coach in college. And it's an honor for us. I always give credit to my players. But I'm going to give credit to my coaching staff as well, and of course to these parents who have been tremendously supportive of what we do here. A short story about this group. The team we had last year was ranked number 1 in the state at one point, and we thought that team would achieve what these guys did. I saw what these guys faced in practice every day against that team. They weren't even close to being competitive against that team. And yet they're the ones that made history this year. And that just goes to show you, never underestimate the players you have or a team that has heart. And this team, as you've rightfully said, Judge, represented our county in a way that I couldn't be prouder to be the coach of this team. So thank you all for having us here.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll reconvene for business. Thank you all for the indulgence. We're so fortunate to have so many great young athletes achieving great things, and I appreciate the fiscal court always being open to honor them. We're really proud of Addie and our soccer team. They really represented us well. And as I told Rick Hartley, I think we'll just keep it up there. It's good luck. I'd like to open up the floor for anybody who would like to make a public comment. Anybody that would like to address the court or the public. The floor is open. Seeing none, we'll approve the minutes of the regular meeting of October 22nd. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Seeing none. Are there any objections? Also seeing none, we will approve the minutes without objection. Committee reports. Contracts and Leases Committee met. We began that off with a in-depth planning and zoning rundown of the meeting on Thursday and the new developments. I'll make sure to get this information to the paper. Appreciate Director Steve Hunter for coming to that meeting. The Fair Board lease was brought up, and it was agreed that Squire Varner and myself will, by a majority vote of the committee, will work with the Fair Board to renegotiate the lease pursuant to some of the provisions that we discussed in the meeting. We also had a recommendation to approve the contract for Spark Community Cafe for the December 3rd Opiate Summit and the December 19th Employee Holiday Lunch. Is there a motion to approve same? Motion by Squire Varner, second by Squire Gentry. Are there any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, nay. The motion carries unanimously. Then we moved on to the Budget and Finance Committee. We discussed the Veterans License Plate proposal. That is a partnership between the County Clerk's Office, the Woodford County Veterans Commission, the American Legion Post 67, and the cities in the county to provide veterans license plates to Woodford County veterans free of charge. Right now we're just in the proposal stage and looking through what and how that will be conducted, but it was well received within the committee. We also discussed the EMS boot allowance because of the need for more expensive and more durable boots for the EMS. We're going to work on that for Director Bailey. We had a discussion about the holiday decoration expenses that were presented for Christmas, and there was a recommendation that we have some additional discussion on that. We also looked at the Paynes Depot Bridge for the City County Bridge Improvement Funds. So the committee recommended at the direction of Supervisor Bo Wilson to apply for the County City Bridge Improvement Funds for the Paynes Depot Bridge. Is there a motion to adopt the recommendation of the Budget and Finance Committee?
Motion.
Motion by Squire Taylor, second by Squire Varner. Seeing no discussion, all those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. Motion carries. The next item was recommended to approve the cost proposal from HMB Professional Engineering Services, Inc. in the amount of $4,500 for engineering services to enter into an agreement for the CBIP grant application process for the Paynes Depot Bridge. Is there a motion to approve the recommendation per se?
Motion.
Motion by Squire Taylor, second by Squire Carl. All those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All
Aye.
those opposed, nay. And the motion carries. Finally, the Huntertown Cemetery project by Clearview Forestry Management was discussed. And that is the total sum of the Budget and Finance Committee. Madam Clerk, is that correct? We also, in the Budget and Finance Committee, looked at the animal control proposal for the sign. Are we ready to approve that amount from Ruggles Sign Company, $495? Motion by Squire Carl. second by Squire Gentry, to approve the signage for Ruggles for animal care and control.
I was going
Yeah, you knew that song. Any other questions or comments thereon? Seeing none, all those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, nay. Thank you. Madam Treasurer, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Would you like to deliver your report?
I don't have it in front of me. I'm sorry.
We know that you are attending to very important business. If anybody has any questions of the treasurer's report, you can get in touch with Melody. We do have the routine business of accepting into the record the AOC facility audit for the fiscal year 2023. Is there a motion for same? Motion by Squire Gentry. Second by Squire Taylor. Are there any questions? Squire Gill, you're recognized.
I have something. I've seen a few of these audits over the years, but I've never seen anything like this. If somebody could explain, there are 3 reports in here. One, reimbursement denied for $236,314.92. And then another report has unauthorized expenses, $41,283.64. And then the third report has expenses that are deemed not related to the KCOJ occupied portion of the facility, and that's $7,780.77. I just wondered if anybody could speak to that. And, you know, they give various reasons why the reimbursement was denied. But, I mean, like I said, I've never seen this before. I was just wondering if somebody could explain it.
Yes, Squire Gill, we can explain these. The first one was so let me say that we have an internal audit committee, treasurer, the finance officer, Madam Clerk, our HR manager, and am I missing anybody? So we routinely meet on all audits, all of the agency audits and the AOC audit. We went through this as well. The first item that you're referring to is Report 1, reimbursement denied for what?
Well, there's a page of.
Oh, you're talking about
items here.
total. Okay.
Yeah, it's the total.
So Director Rick Wade submits anything that is related to the courthouse because this is a court facility for the circuit courtroom. If you go through any of these items, the reason that the reimbursement was denied is because they're mainly for the rest of the building's improvements, not the third floor for the court. Also, anything that we were reimbursed on an insurance claim, we submitted because we have to submit for reimbursement prior and pre-approval. And then if it's an insurance claim, we are not granted that because it's paid back through insurance. So what were the other items you were asking about?
Well, on the reimbursement denied, most of them are because it was not pre-approved.
Either that's insurance claims or, for example, Carroll floor covering, those were for the basement. And we as it states, it's for the basement. The basement's the bottom floor, the courtroom's on the third floor. We couldn't get them to approve that. But we submitted it anyway in hopes that as a shared use of the building that we would be reimbursed.
Okay.
So it's going above and beyond and trying to get reimbursed for the maximum amount. Other questions that you have?
The second report, it says it lists expenses defined as not necessary for the operation of the facility.
For the court facility, but not for the courthouse.
So that was the second report.
Yeah, report number 2?
Yes.
So again, these items are a matter of us over requesting reimbursements and then being determined that they're not reimbursable.
And so anything related to the courthouse, you submit it, and then they
Anything that has a nexus related to the courtroom on the third floor, we try to submit that.
Right. And I guess the same for the report number 3?
Yes, that's correct. Most of it, painting for the county clerk's office and sheriff's office, again, I mean, our nexus there is that the sheriff is the security for the courts, and we wanted to be reimbursed for that. You can't get reimbursed if you don't ask for it. But there's nothing in this audit that we should have been reimbursed that we're not, in our internal audit committee's opinion.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any additional questions? Do you have a motion? There's a motion on the table to accept same into the record. Any other questions? Seeing none, all those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. The motion carries unanimously. The next item would be the motion to approve the engagement agreement between the Fiscal Court and Patrick Associates for the Fiscal Court audit year ending June 30, 2024, as recommended by the Treasurer. Is there a motion to approve same? Motion by Squire Brown. Second by Squire Varner. Is there any discussion? Any questions for the Treasurer? Seeing none, all those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those
Aye.
opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thank you, Madam Treasurer. All right, we'll move on to the County Clerk. Madam County Clerk Sandy Jones and her team have just completed an exhaustive general election cycle. They've done a tremendous job and reflected extremely well upon our county. Thank you to your team, to all of our election workers for all you've done. We've gone over the proposal for the veterans license plates.
Yes.
There were a few questions. You might get some of those after your election report, but I'll turn over the floor for you for that.
Very good, thank you. A week ago tonight, we went through the general and we all survived. And I think the last time I reported to you all about the election, I had told you most likely we would have a large turnout. We did. We have 22,508 registered voters in Woodford County, and our voter turnout for the 2024 general election was 15,182. This gave us a 67,000, how's that? 67.46% turnout. Anderson County had a 68.93%, and Franklin County came in right behind us. So we're once again right in that top three. So this is just further proof that the voters of Woodford County take our elections seriously. They always turn out big. I can report figures all day long, but you would almost have to be there to capture how well accepted and easy that it was to go through all four of the voting centers. It's very gratifying to hear so many voters come by and say, you know, you all had a long line, but we were able to move through the line quickly. So that was our goal, of course, to be accurate and make sure that all the voters felt like that their time there was very worthwhile and that they got to vote quickly. So we did accomplish that. So most importantly, I want to express my gratitude to everybody who helped make this election possible. As always, thank Rick Hartley and all of his crew for tirelessly working all 14 to 16 hours with us the day of the election and the days before. They deliver, help assemble, pick up the voting machines and all the equipment that it takes to pull off an election, which is a lot. The willingness is always tremendous. They're so easy to work with, and we're so very grateful. We couldn't do it without you all. That's the bottom line. We absolutely could not do it. Bo, Tracy, and the road department employees make sure that we have all the help that's needed. You know, whether it's a trailer, truck, or putting signs up, they're always a huge part of the election. Sheriff Will always makes sure that we have coverage throughout the day at the voting centers, and in addition to being that reliable source that hand carries the voting results back to the courthouse, along with any of the other voting equipment that they can fit into their cruisers. A huge thanks goes to Rich Pichter and his wonderful staff, who are always willing and able to help us at Falling Springs during every turn of an election. Thank you for allowing us to display our fabulous recreational center to all the voters of this county. I attribute a huge part of this success we experience at Falling Springs Voting Center to being able to have 15 check-in stations, which includes a close to the entrance voting room for any voter who may have mobility issues or need any extra help. That was very well received once again for early voting and on election day. to all of our precinct election officers who graciously give all of their time and effort to making this election everything we could hope for, my staff, and I thank each and every one of you all. They are the full-time and all the best that you could ever hope for. They never complain about getting tired. I'll always brag on them any and every chance that I get. We've just got the best. Last, but certainly not least, there are no words of appreciation to all my staff who give all that they have the weeks leading up to the election and the days after. I'm beyond grateful and blessed to have each and every one of them. I'll be glad to entertain any questions that you all have about the election. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to report on the election this evening.
Nobody works harder than you, Sandy.
I don't know about that.
I came in on Sunday and she was here. I bet if I come in anytime, she's still working.
Well, I do have something else positive to report on. We did have our audit. As I told you all last time, we'd never had a hand-to-eye audit before. So the Secretary of State gave us our walking orders. The election was Tuesday. We got it at 12 o'clock or thereabout on Wednesday to perform it on Thursday. So it was one machine and one race that we had to perform the audit. We did it here under surveillance the way we were supposed to. We had a Democrat and Republican come in. It was the none such machine that we used, and the race was for county surveyor. So we went through, and as expected, it was totally accurate. But this was a test to see if all the machines accurately report the ballots that go through. So every county in the state of Kentucky had to conduct this. There was a $5,000 limit on what a county can be reimbursed for this. Because we had the facility, we didn't have to have any extra equipment to make this happen. We were able to do it here. We paid each one of the election officers what they are paid, and it was mandated that they be paid what they were paid on election day, which was $300 apiece. So the county will pay for that, and then the state will reimburse the county for that $600. So it was all done. It was nerve-wracking because you don't know what it is that they're asking for, but we got a good draw, and it all came out well.
Thank you, Sandy. Anybody have any questions for Sandy? Would you then take any questions? I think, was there a question about the proposed Veterans License Plate Program? Squire Varner, thank you.
Sandy, my question was, how many do you have veterans coming in that you service that you do the free plates with your raising funds for it and things?
It hasn't been counted. The project that it's dear to my heart of what I took on years ago was I put the seed money in to sell the plaques that you see. I've got a World War II veteran that made them for us, and we sold them for $100 a piece. That was what Artique down at the Civic Center charged. So I decided that would be a fair place to start. Around Christmas, we sold a bunch of them. So the monies that I had, it was never commingled with anything that I had to turn into the state or the county. It was just a little pot of money that I had. And when any of the veterans would come in, and they even acted like that it would be a strain or they couldn't afford it or whatever, all my staff, we knew to go into that and get that money out. So this was something that's been dear to my heart, and I've worked on for a while. I brought it up an administration ago, and at that point, I had a report that the DOT ran for me. So I've also been working with the American Legion. Commander Lauderdale had a figure that he had, but at that time, the last check that I had, it would have been close to $40,000 total if every veteran in the county decided that they wanted one. So I think that probably it's changed up a little bit. Maybe the numbers are different now than they were, but that's kind of a good baseline to go on. But I think it's a very small token of our appreciation.
Thank you for your hard work on that. Thank you, Sandy.
Yes, you're welcome. Very dear to me. I hope we can make this happen.
Squire Varner. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Anything additional for the clerk? We just appreciate you. Yeah, Squire Taylor, you're recognized.
Just so people know, on the timing on that for those tags, it would be annual for all of those for that, and it's not a different fee for the initial purchase of the tag. Okay.
No.
I just wanted to make sure everybody knew that would be
Now, it is prorated if they came in, and theirs would be due less than a year, of course. But, you know, the standard fee is $26.
I appreciate your hard work on it. I know we've talked about it several times, and I appreciate your passion, and I would love to make it happen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Thank you.
You are more than welcome to be excused.
Thank you.
I'd like to bring up the aforementioned Rich Pichter, Director Pichter, to talk about our Parks Project update.
Yes, I just want to give you some updates where we're at on our two current projects. The first being the pickleball courts. Pickleball courts are unofficially open right now. There's still a little bit of work to be done, but they are open for play and they have been played on the last several days as November or as fall continues to stick around forever, it appears. They've been used and will continue to be used, I guess, as long as it stays warm. We do have a little bit left to do on those. We're waiting on a meter to be set for the drinking fountain and waiting on the gates to be put in place, as well as a gate to secure the fence around the exterior perimeter going to the football field. But the courts themselves are ready for play. And with that, I would like to be the first to invite you all on November the 22nd at 1 p.m. and I will send out an email tomorrow morning so you all have that. We will do a ribbon cutting ceremony along with members from the Parks Board and the City Council at November the 22nd at 1 p.m. at the pickleball courts.
Could we do a little interlocal match? We've got a ringer over here, so.
Sure. I will be at the City Council next week, and I'll see if they have anybody willing to take on Magistrate Blackford.
Don't tell me we're going to play. Just tell them we need a match.
Yeah.
Okay.
You set it up. We'll be there.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll do that. Not a problem. Any questions as it relates to the pickleball courts? They've been well received. They look great. Like I said, I see families out there all the time. Yesterday, there's people out there all day long with Veterans Day. So it's really going to be great for the community. The Big Spring Project is moving along. We had a meeting with the W principals, and everything is on schedule. We're still targeting for a spring opening of the park. I'm not going to set a date because I know contractors. So I'm going to just say it's going to be spring, but they are on schedule at this point. I will say we'll have one change order that has come into this point, and that change order is a $6,000 credit. One we gladly accepted the change order for, but that was where we reduced the playground size from the original scope, which meant less curbing for the concrete to put in the pour in place, which we anticipated that coming. But that's the only change order right now. Everything is going really well down there. We'll knock on wood for that. But hoping for a spring unveiling of that one as well.
Great. Thank you, Rich. Squire Taylor.
Rich, I just want to tell you, I spoke to a group of all the 5th grade students at Northside a couple weeks ago, and they were talking about different responsibilities in local government, and we quickly got to the discussion about Big Spring Park, and I really hope we can keep to that timeline because they will hold my feet to that fire on that estimate. They were very passionate about, they were both excited about hearing about the project, but also very passionate about it reopening. So I just wanted to thank you for your work and tell you that it's got a real buzz in the 5th grade community in Northside at least.
Yes, I believe that to be the case. We took advantage of the, if you noticed, and you voted at Falling Spring Center, we took advantage of the large number of people that came through the center to make sure the pictures of the playground were up and very prominent. So hopefully everybody got a chance to see those, and they were very well received. But yes, I'm very hopeful that by this spring they'll be able to play on the new structures.
Awesome. Thank you, Director Pichter.
Thank you all.
Thank you. We will move on to Emergency Management. Director Chandler.
Thank you, Judge. Come to you tonight with another grant award. You may recall we had a little storm here in March of 2023. FEMA earmarks funding based off the event that happened, and we had put in for consideration to put safe rooms in our parks. Had a work group, had several meetings, made recommendations to put 4 safe rooms at the county park, 2 at Huntertown Community Park, and 2 at Walter Bradley Park in Midway. We got letters of support for that project using the parks funding formula from the 2 cities. FEMA liked what we put together, and they've given us a Phase 1 award to complete the design and construction documents for those prefabricated safe rooms. So the request tonight would be to allow Judge Kay to sign that agreement with the Commonwealth, allow us to spend approximately 10% of the total award, which is $430,000 for the Phase 1 work. That information would then go to FEMA Region 4. If they're satisfied that we've met all the requirements, they would then give us the Phase 2 money to complete the physical work. Happy to entertain any questions. There'll be more work group meetings as we finalize the locations and go through an RFP process at a later date once that agreement is executed to determine exactly what prefabricated rooms we would be purchasing so that we can get third-party engineering statements to sign off on their construction compliance.
Is there a motion to approve the MOA as presented by the director?
Motion.
Ms. Squire Gill, second by Squire Taylor. Open up the floor for any discussions or questions about the MOA. Seeing none, all those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. And the motion carries.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Director Chandler. Great work, as always. Is there any other department or agency that needs to report? And I'll take some of these additional reports. Let me give you all the food pantry update. The fiscal court received the food pantry interview process update before the election. And there are 2 candidates remaining. There were 3, and I think one of them backed out, as you all will see. That's correct, right, Squire Carl? Mm-hmm. So the process now is that a representative from the city and myself will be in the final interviews for these candidates. I would start out by saying, is everybody on board with where we've gone to this point? Anybody have any questions? According to the MOA, the fiscal court can give me the opportunity as judge to sign off on the final candidate. What I would say is the only reason that I would do that is to move the process forward. If we can conduct the interviews and the city councils and the fiscal court can be updated on the final interviews in a fashion that we could recommend the hire before our next fiscal court meeting, I would need your all's approval to do that. If not, we'd have to wait till that next fiscal court meeting, and I'm open to your all's discretion on what to do. What I would like to do, however, is have the ability, upon consultation with you all via email, to approve which will ultimately be the approval of the final screening committee, which is the representative for the city, the food pantry board, screening committee, and myself. Is that something that you all would be in agreement with? So I would entertain a motion pursuant to the MOA that upon the selection of a finalist candidate, that the judge executive, with the input of the fiscal court via email, has the ability to sign off on a hire. Motion by Squire Carl.
Second.
Second by Squire Taylor. I'd open up the floor for any discussion on that. Seeing none, all those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. And the motion carries. And I will say, if it's a matter of coming down to close to the fiscal court meeting, I will just wait. But if it's a matter of moving it forward, again, the last process stopped on October 30th. So I think we would like to get those interviews in as soon as possible. Thank you to the Woodford County Food Pantry for their diligent work in screening candidates. Moving on, we have the Millville Sewer Scope of Services project. I've been in touch with everybody who's involved in the Millville Sewer project. That is the city of Frankfort, Castle and Key, folks at the state and KIA. And what we've determined is that, you know, we use the Bluegrass ad for the Millville Water Line project. So They will help us administer these projects. So we think it's in the best interest of the county and to move the project along, to agree to enter into a scope of services contract with the ad. They've reduced their fee amount because they understand that these fees are limited, but they would help us with processing all of the administrative documents for the project. Number one, that takes burden off our staff here locally. Number two, they can do it quicker. And number three, that burden is upon them. So, you all only received the scope of services today, so I'm not going to ask you to vote on it. But what I would ask is a motion to allow the county attorney and myself to review. And upon our review, if it's ready for approval, then we would submit that to the court via email vote in between our fiscal court meetings. Is there a motion to approve that process?
Motion.
Motion by Squire Gentry. Second by Squire Taylor. Are there any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. The motion carries. For our Millville Waterline project, we are still waiting on our contract agreement with Kentucky Engineering Group. So we have no action at this time, but I will get that to you as soon as possible, as soon as we receive it. Squire Varner, we have a good update on the Big Sink Sidewalk project. We were able to meet with AECom and Brian Mead and the construction estimate from RJ Corman with a new design. Just to make folks aware of what we've done, it was originally a 10-foot multi-use path from Quail Run all the way to US 60. What we decided to do was take the multi-use path to basically to the railroad tracks and then narrow it down into a regular size sidewalk. We'll cut expenses for the project. It'll help us with right-of-way acquisition, and it'll help us not to take a lot of the frontage of the properties along that way, have to take out less trees, have to deal with things like the fire department's fence and all that stuff much easier. And also the great news is it brought down RJ Corman's construction estimate. And Madam Clerk, you want to tell what that did?
It was 384 last time we saw it, 384 a little bit. And now it is down to, I have the number right here, I'm sorry. 232 and some, let me get that for you really quick. $232,955.69.
So that's great news on a couple of fronts. We've narrowed the project down to a more manageable project. It's cut the cost of the project, and it's reduced the amount of cost to cross the railroad crossings. So we have the construction agreement and estimate between RJ Corman and the fiscal court for the Big Sink multi-use path. Squire Varner, would you extend a motion to approve that agreement?
Yes, I so move.
There's a motion.
Second.
And a second by Squire Gentry. I just note that Squire Downey does no longer have to recuse, although he got off there, I think. But he doesn't have to recuse anymore. He no longer works for RJ Corman. Are there any questions regarding the construction agreement? Squire Taylor.
Judge, I just, I know the answer, but I want to for sure know the answer that this change doesn't at all jeopardize the grant funding as well. We don't have any concerns with that, do we?
No, it will not jeopardize the grant funding. In fact, because we've cut the cost, our grant is more doable because we're more within the total amount.
I assumed that was the case, but it'll help me sleep at night knowing that's for sure.
Well, I will say this, that we do anticipate that we could have to ask for additional monies through the TAP grant or apply for additional TAP grant to get this full project done. But we're confident that with the direction we're heading, that it will get done. Appreciate Squire Varner's work and Madam Clerk's work on this. Motion's on the table. All those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. And the motion carries. You all have the list of applicants for the new and young farmer grant program. Jordan, we'll let them peruse that on their own. We'll bring that up at our next meeting. I have no board appointments for you, but I do have the claims, the bills to be paid are before you. Are there any questions or comments about any of the bills to be paid? Are there any objections for same? Seeing no objections, I'll approve the claims to be paid without objection. We do need to approve the claim from Southern Communication and Consultants in the amount of $984.43. Kentucky Uniforms, Inc. in the amount of $110. Seiler Instrument and Manufacturing in the amount of $12,482.09. And the Galls LLC amount in the amount of $747.77. These are all for the sheriff's office using the asset forfeiture funds. Are there a motion to approve said claims? Motion by Squire Brown, second by Squire Blackford. Seeing no questions, all those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Motion carries. Is there a motion to approve the transfers? Motion by Squire Carl, second by Squire Brown. All those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. And the motion carries. We don't have a personnel order at this time, but I would remind you all that Officer Katner has 2 part-time employees that she's working with. We discussed this in Budget and Finance that we're trying to hire, and I will submit those to you via email vote so that we can bring them on board between now and our next meeting. New business, the proposed first reading of Ordinance 24-10, the 18th and 19th supplement to the Code of Ordinance. Is there a motion to have first reading of same?
Motion.
Motion by Squire Gill, second by Squire Taylor. Any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. The motion carries. Mr. County Attorney, sir.
Yes, Judge, this will be a summary reading of an ordinance enacting and adopting the 18th and 19th supplements to the Woodford County Code of Ordinances, whereas American Legal Publishing Corporation out of Cincinnati has completed these supplements, which contain all ordinances of general nature enacted since publication of the Code of Ordinances of Woodford County, Kentucky. Be it ordained by this court that these supplements, as submitted by American Legal Publishing, are adopted. This being a first reading, we can have the second reading at our November 26th meeting, and then it'll be published in summary form after that. Thank you, Judge.
The next item is the consulting party invitation. The Transportation Cabinet is doing road work improvements along Kentucky 169 between Clear Creek Road and the Jessamine County line and Eckert's Orchard in Woodford County. The question is whether or not we accept an invitation to be a consulting party thereon. You all see that information in your packet. Squires Gill and Brown, being this somewhat in the area of your all's districts, I think it's generally a good thing to have a role as a consultant party. So if you would like to motion to accept the invitation for same. There's a motion on the table and a second by Squire Gill. Seeing no other questions, all those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. And the motion carries unanimously. We've discussed the Veterans License Plates Program, and we'll get some more details for the court along those lines. The MOA for McCracken Pike, you've had that for your review. The one thing that we've been discussing is ensuring that the county is not fully responsible for that amount that's stated in the right-of-way acquisition, that would be reimbursable. But because in my review, and I discussed this with the county attorney, that we want to get clarification on that, I'll discuss that and we'll take it up at a later date. We do have to accept the sheriff's audit for calendar year 23. Motion by Squire Carl, second by Squire Varner. All those in favor of accepting the sheriff's audit into the record for year 2023, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. The motion carries unanimously. All right. Let's see, Squire Blackford, do you want to get us started off? Thank you. Squire Gill.
Just one thing on the young farmers applications.
Yes, ma'am.
Could we just omit their personal ID numbers? It's probably a good idea to X that. I Sharpied it out, but.
For the public, but you would,
Right.
or for the court as well?
Well, I think for us too. We don't need it. We
Sure.
don't need their tax ID numbers. Thank you. That's all.
Sure. Squire Brown? Thank you. Squire Taylor?
I want to wish everybody happy Veterans Day, those that served. Again, I want to echo your sentiment on that. Yesterday was a solemn day for a lot of folks, and want to congratulate everyone on getting past the election, and as we move into the holiday season and move together as a community. So thank you.
Thank you. Squire Gentry.
Nothing, Judge, thank you.
Squire Barnard.
Nothing, Judge, thank you.
Carl.
Johnny's not here today, so it's Christmas open house this weekend.
Excellent.
Hoorah. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited because I'm going to be out in it. But our courthouse won't be decorated.
No, we'll get it decorated. Thank you, Squire.
Judge, very quickly, to wrap up on the elections, as we know, medicinal cannabis was still an issue, had staunch proponents and opponents. Had the fiscal court simply approved it as was one of your options, there could still be those who claim that it would not be representative of the true feeling of the county. By having put the matter to a vote, the public has spoken loud and clear. In favor of allowing it. The final vote was 6,012 to 2846 out in the county, so a little over 2-to-1, 68% to 32%. I would note that in this state, there were 53 counties that put it to a vote. There were 53 cities that put it to a vote, and the final count was 106 to nothing in favor of allowing it in those counties and cities. And there were 22 counties that did it somewhat like we did, in that you had cities within those